Hjertelig velkommen til et nytt program her på Israelkanalen. Denne gang så skal vi inn til Oslo, nærmere bestemt til Keren Kayemet til Israel, altså Israels nasjonalfunds, lansering av Scandinavia-organisasjonen, som skjedde i SMB Norges lokaler. Så følg med på dette.
I'm especially glad and to welcome you to this special day. We have now International After Hours, a new concept we started this year, and official launch of KKL Scandinavia. My name is Jørund Rytman. I'm the CEO of SME Norway, also a former member of parliament and former chairman of the friendship group in the Norwegian parliament of Israel. As you maybe know, SME Norway, we are fighting for a better condition of small and medium-sized enterprises in Norway, but also internationally. We're opening doors for Norwegian companies and also companies from other countries who are interested to enter this Norwegian market. This seminar, the concept is that we are focused on every country in the world in the long run. But now today, as you understand, Israel, the country well known of one of the best countries in the world with startups, innovation, investments. And next will be 9th of April. It will be Romania. And so those who are interested in business opportunities in Romania, and we will have the ambassador from Romania and the chairman of the Chamber of Romanian Norwegian Chamber of Commerce. And of course, we also will have wine from Romania and with a sommelier. And today, as you know and have already seen, good, nice food from Israel and wine. And last day, we found out it's today, the International Day of Waffles. So we also have made that. We found out it's actually a Swedish tradition, but well known now in Norway as well. So I hope to see you also on 9th of April. So then maybe Max, you will say some words as well. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Max Federman. I live in Stockholm, but I have also lived many years in Israel, and I have been working with Keren Kayemet for 18 years. And later on, I will tell you more about what Keren Kayemet is. Now, it's really nice to be in Oslo. I was wondering if I should speak Swedish or skånska, because I speak skånska. But I guess you started in English, so let's stick to English. So it's wonderful to be here. And as we landed, the sun came up and we had beautiful weather, and we were happy to leave the rainy weather in Stockholm, I can tell you. So, yes, let's begin.
yes, a special thank you for the member of parliament, and also thanks to the Israeli embassy.
You may know that KKL JNF plants trees, but you probably don't realize how diverse, extensive, and vital the organization's activities are to Israel's growth. At the Zionist Congress in 1901, Herzl announced the founding of KKL JNF. Its goal was to raise donations from the Jewish people to purchase land in the land of Israel. Starting 120 years ago, the iconic KKL JNF blue boxes were distributed in Jewish communities worldwide, and people dropped coins into them for decades. To this day, the blue box remains a symbol of Zionism. KKL JNF is the authority responsible for Israel's forests. These forests are a green lung for the population, a habitat for many animal and plant species, and a highly valuable ecosystem. Forests, nature spaces, communities, and agricultural zones, all of these have been created over the years on KKL JNF land. KKL JNF reservoirs collect floodwater and treated wastewater, help protect the environment, and supply most of the water used for agricultural irrigation in Israel. Since the beginning of the 20th century, KKL JNF has transformed arid areas into fertile land, enabling pioneering communities to not only survive, but thrive. The diaspora connection is central to the organization's work. This is not only about fundraising for projects, but about building a shared future for the Jewish people. KKL JNF promotes numerous programs in Israel and around the world to spread the values of Zionism, love of the land, environmental awareness, and social inclusion. Following October 7, KKL JNF was among the first organizations to support evacuees, purchase ambulances and emergency equipment, provide funds, and offer emotional support. It also created a temporary community for the displaced residents of Kfar Aza. KKL JNF is at the forefront of addressing climate change through innovative research, the prevention of desertification, and international cooperation. 125 years of action, 125 years of vision, and we're just getting started. Together, we will continue to build the State of Israel for the benefit of its citizens and the entire Jewish people, now and for always.
Yes, that's Keren Kayemet, and now you know a little bit more about us. 125 years this year. So what are we? So we are today a non-governmental organization. We have nothing, actually, we are not a state-owned or we are completely separate from the state. But of course, we work a lot together with the state in a very close cooperation with the state. And we are in 40 countries around the globe. In some countries, we are very big fundraisers. So, for example, in the US, we are called JNF, Jewish National Fund, which was the original name also when we were founded in 1901. In Sweden, we were founded in 1910, very early on. And at that point, we were called JNF. But later on, we changed to the Hebrew name, Keren Kayemet Israel. So we today are a green organization. We are responsible for the environment in Israel. We do planting of trees is one of our very important sectors. We have planted more than 240 million trees. Unfortunately, some have burnt up during the wars lately. I will speak about that later on. We are also responsible for water supply and irrigation, which is a very, very important subject in Israel, because this area has a very limited access to water. So we have several techniques to be able to develop the land. And I will come back to that later on. Now, during the war, I mean, we are an organization for the civilians, for the civilian people of Israel. So during times of war, it's the civilians that get hurt the most. So what do? We build shelters. And there is a need for many shelters. There is an ongoing war now with Iran, as you know, and with Hezbollah in Lebanon. Did you know that 30% of the Israelis, they don't have access to shelters? Many have, but 30% don't have. And I will come back to this subject later on. Okay, let's go on. So, we have an ongoing war. And war is always tragic. We see the people suffering in Israel. And of course, civilians are suffering on the other side as well. And I will not go into politics. Of course, if you want to discuss later on politics, we can do that. But let me just say that Israel has a very advanced military technology. We don't shoot at civilians. We are precision bombing and trying not to hurt civilians. Enough said about that. We don't know where this war will lead us, but we have been through many wars, and we always try to keep focus on continue building the society and the land of Israel. That's what we do. So one of our very important topics, 60% of the land of Israel, it's a tiny country. Sometimes it's always on the news. So people think it's an enormous country, very powerful. No, it's a tiny, tiny country. It's like Skåne in Sweden. It's less than Småland. I mean, it's very, very limited. It's a strip along the coast, the eastern coast of the Mediterranean, actually. But 60% of the country is desert. 60% of the country is desert. And the first Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. David Ben-Gurion, had this dream to build up the desert. And he even took the step to move from a comfortable home in Tel Aviv to the desert, to stay to a kibbutz in the desert. And I've been in both places. If you go to Tel Aviv, visit his house. It's a museum today. Also the home in the desert is a museum. It's worth seeing. It's fantastic. So what do? How do you make the desert blossom?
The Negev is an arid region in southern Israel that covers 60% of the country. Average annual rainfall is less than 200 millimeters. Days are very hot and nights are very cold. Water is scarce, as are shade and food sources. In these harsh climatic conditions, no one thought it possible to have green forests that turn back the desert and make the yellow open spaces green.
קרן קיימת לישראל is able to turn the impossible to a possible situation. Just look around us. Look at the trees that are growing on the hill slopes, down in the gullies. This is what we are defining as a forest in desert areas.
Israel President Shimon Peres described the miracle KKL-JNF created in the desert at the ceremony where the Beautiful Israel Award was presented to KKL-JNF.
אני שואל את עצמי, מדוע ישראל לא מובנת בעולם? כל הזמן, יש לנו בעיות עם העולם. והתשובה לפי דעתי שישראל חיה, קיימת ופועלת בניגוד לחוקי הטבע ויוצרת לה טבע משלה. כשאנחנו מטיפת מים אחד עושים 5 טיפות. תגידו לי, זה לא בניגוד לטבע?
So how are 5 drops of water created out of 1 drop in a desert? Join us for a walk among the shihim, desert terraces, lamons and desert forests created by KKL-JNF throughout the Negev with the assistance of its friends worldwide.
The soil type in the areas surrounding Be'er Sheva are a very typical less soil, which reach in a very high amount of clay. And usually in summertime it will look like powder. But as soon as above 10 millimeters of rain will go down, it will create a crust. Just look on those soil particles, how crusty they are, very thin, but they are sealed to any kind of filtration into the soil itself. Just look what happens when the waters are coming down. Everything is flowing on the surface down to the gully. When the water are flowing on the slope, immediately most of them will create runoff. And then you can see how it accumulates in the structure that was built exactly like that.
In addition to the special planting methods for shihim, desert terraces, KKL-JNF has constructed over 400 lamons all over the Negev, catchments that create a unique desert landscape. The lamons provide shaded recreation areas and attract many visitors. They paint the arid desert landscapes green and provide shade and pasture for herds that graze in the region. North of Be'er Sheva, the capital city of the Negev, is the Yatir Forest, 30 square kilometers of planted forest. In 1964, KKL-JNF foresters planted the first tree here, and against all odds, the Yatir forest grew to become the largest forest in Israel. International studies undertaken at the Forest Research Station show that in spite of the arid climate, carbon sequestration in Yatir forest is equal to that of rainforests. For our ailing planet, which is suffering from global warming and air pollution, trees are simply a miracle cure. Planting trees is the only active way to stop the greenhouse effect that causes global warming. In the course of its life, 1 tree absorbs 0.7 tons of the carbon dioxide that pollutes the atmosphere. 1 person has to plant about 200 trees in order to compensate for the pollution he will have produced in his lifetime. Since its establishment, KKL-JNF has planted 240 million trees throughout the land of Israel. Trees provide shade, beautiful green landscapes, and habitats for a diversity of wildlife. Since 1985, KKL-JNF has been developing a green belt around Be'er Sheva, the capital of the Negev. The 160,000 trees that will be planted in it will enlarge the green lung in the area and provide recreation areas for local residents. The trees will contribute toward ecological balance by preventing erosion and decreasing global warming. At the festive opening ceremony for KKL-JNF Tu B'Shvat events throughout Israel, participants planted trees in the Ramot forest, which is part of the Be'er Sheva Greenbelt. Within 5 years, the hilltop will look like this. And within 30 years, like this.
שום מאמץ דיפלומטי לא הצליח, כמו העובדה שישראל יודעת להתגבר על צחיחות המדבר, על עוני הקרקע, על המחסור במים, על הרעב.
A desert forest requires constant attention and maintenance, which is expensive. KKL JNF invests great resources in combating desertification and also shares its professional expertise with many countries that apply it in their own arid regions. Vision, creative thinking, technology, determination, and friends all over the world have helped KKL JNF make the desert bloom.
Yes, that's KKL, planting and making the desert blossom.
I saw him approximately 1 meter from me. I cannot forget this picture. This picture is heavy in my heart all my life. Raoul Wallenberg is an angel. I believe he is an angel, not a person. He's an angel. He saved us, come from heaven to save us, and go back to the God. Yeah? That is my believing. Because I receive my life like a present.
It is amazing, really, how he dared to go in among all these SS men from a strange country to come to these people to save them in another country, to go into the SS headquarters, to walk into a lion cage, and to go among the lions where your life is in danger to save other people. How great courage he had to have. And we who are saved by Raoul Wallenberg, we are so thankful.
Half an hour's drive from Jerusalem, in the Tzara forest area, close to the city of Beth Shemesh, a park will be built, which pays tribute to the Swedish diplomat Raoul Wallenberg's deed in Budapest 1944, during the final stages of the World War II. The location is a popular recreation area where many Israeli families travel at the weekend to enjoy outdoor activities and nature. This popular destination will include a memorial site for Raoul Wallenberg, whose legendary deed of the rescuing of youths has merited great attention and appreciation in Israel and all over the world.
I'm a huge fan of that area, and I think it's gorgeous that Raoul Wallenberg, one of the greatest righteous human beings in world history, is commemorated there. I commend you, and I urge you supporters and viewers to contribute and be involved in this unique piece of land in the land of Israel.
It's a special privilege to have been able to build this park, because when this film was made, it was during the war in Gaza, and all projects were stopped in Israel. But this project was continued. And I'm very happy to say that today this project has been completed. So we have a park in honor of Raoul Wallenberg, the greatest hero, I think, for Sweden, absolutely, and during World War II. He saved up to 100,000 people. And we have an outdoor museum there, and we are about to build an artificial intelligence museum which shows what he did during these days in 1944, 1945 in Budapest. I was in Budapest last year. It's amazing to walk down these streets and to talk to people that were saved. Now in the film we saw Thomas Vogel, he lives in Jerusalem, and Kate Vax, who lives just around the corner from me in Stockholm, both saved. Now, if you plant trees in Israel, maybe here around this park or anywhere else, you can have a plaque in Raoul Wallenberg-parken, like this one.
Ja, det var det vi opplevde gjennom lanseringen av KKL Scandinavia i SMB Norges kontorer. Hvis du har satt pris på det Israelkanalen gjør, så støtt oss gjerne ved å sende en gave til oss på Vips og være med og velsigne Israel på den måten. Tusen takk for at du har fulgt oss. Støtt oss gjerne også på sosiale medier som Facebook og Instagram. Ellers vil jeg bare si Gud velsigne deg, og så ses vi igjen neste uke. Takk for nå.